You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show. State of the WWE.
It's time to talk wrestling right here on The Joe Cronin Show. And all you shit bums, don't forget to donate in the box below. We all know, Joe, you take that money, you buy those hoes. Well, that's okay, because we all still love The Joe Cronin Show anyway.
God damn, that you nailed it. You just almost threw up a minute ago, but you nailed that one.
I got that one, yeah.
State of the WWE, guys. Welcome into State of the WWE. Thank you to Justin Bailey for the serenation. I absolutely... The cockles down below. It's unbelievable.
You like it a tasty lick, huh?
It's episode 51, State of the WWE, February 14th. What?
56.
Is this 56? I think you think monetized this is 56 last
that's
night.
when I'm fucked up. Yeah, I'm hungover. Sorry.
God damn it, I'm right. I believe this is 51. It's Valentine's Day, and so that's why I sent Dave Rose a heart with a picture of my privates on it. Hi, Dave.
How's it going, boys?
How come
What?
How the fuck did he get that?
Oh, well, I mean, me and you, we do. I don't see him a lot. Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to get it, so I figured I got to send something that's going to finish this deal. But, we're all a little bit hungover after last night's Monetize This. Absolutely insane night. Thanks for speaking of donations, holy crap, did people kill it last night. But
record night.
It was a record night on the show, no doubt.
I did tweet this. Your fans are fucking awesome.
Unbelievable. I mean, unbridled love last night. I couldn't even believe it. But we do want to get right into the wrestling for everybody, because that's what people want to hear. So let's get right into the first thing, because I cannot look past this, because you brought this up a minute ago before we started talking about going on here, that apparently a Hall of Famer's ring from the WWE Hall of Fame 2014 class is up for sale on eBay. Is that where it is?
No, it's going to be on the reality show Pawn Stars.
So someone's going to pawn it.
That's what it looks like, yeah. But it's odd, because it says there's no word on who the ring belonged to. But it says, we should be it is to be noteworthy that several Hall of Famers have sold the rings in the past. So I'm wondering, right here on the February 24th episode of History Channel's Pawn Stars. So it hasn't aired yet.
What are these people doing wrong if they have to sell their Hall of Fame rings? And what's WWE doing wrong if these people can't afford, they have to sell their Hall of Fame rings? Like, nobody has money. It's crazy, though. They don't care, right?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand, especially after the class that do you want me to announce the class that was in that year and just start speculating? Because
that's pretty
it was too star-studded of a class for someone to be like, oh, I need money. So here we go. This was the 2014 inductees into the Hall of Fame. You had Lita, right, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. T, Paul Bearer.
Maybe it was Mr. T. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It could have been. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, Carlos Colon, and obviously the Ultimate Warrior was the big inductee that year. So, I mean, you go through those, and you have to try and figure out who needs the money the most out of those. So
I know that Paul Bearer's children had, I believe, initially mentioned they were going to sell that ring.
Yeah, because
that was a while ago.
He's not here anymore, so
Daniel and Michael Moody.
Yes,
their names.
Well, one of them's not alive anymore. One of them died. Daniel Moody died, I think.
Oh, really?
Or maybe Michael did, but one of them is dead. So there's only one of them left to sell the ring, if that's what's happening.
Huh? That's okay. So
it was really weird. He just died. It just happened.
So you think it's Michael Moody?
I think it's quite possible. The other names just seem to be fairly well off as to not need to sell that item. And I doubt that Macho Man's family would sell that ring. That sort of, represents something that was a long time coming. Don't see it for Razor Ramon. He, I think, is, doing well.
Did you say
You see-
Macho Man?
Oh, I'm sorry. Macho Man was the year after. Sorry. Razor Ramon. I just don't see him selling it. I'm not sure about Carlos Colon. Lita seems to be doing quite well.
I believe Lita's involved in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
I doubt that the Ultimate Warrior's family would sell it because they're doing well. And I just don't see Jake the Snake either. To me, it's Moody.
Yeah, and even Scott Hall is working with everybody. He's got his son and him, and that's the important thing, I think, to him, really. I mean, he's not, and he's recovering, sort of. I mean, maybe, but yeah.
I'm going to say Jake the Snake, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever give that thing up. I think Jake the Snake absolutely cherishes that ring.
Here's another reason that I have to agree with Joe on this one, is that without all the support that the fans have shown him, even with DDP, I don't think that he'd be here right now. So I think, again, it's one of those connected items that he cherishes, just like Razor Ramon, you know?
Yeah, I think there's no way. It's got to be Paul Bear's kids. You know what I mean? They gave up the ring because Paul's not here anymore. Or, he's not here anymore. So, and then now one of his kids is gone. I'm sure they needed it. I would suspect that it's his ring. You know, I mean, I don't know why they would give up his ring, but
I don't know. I just, for some reason, I don't know. There's just something makes me think that there's a good possibility that Jake the Snake would have sold it. I don't know if he would be having financial issues. I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure he still receives royalties from WWE. I would have to imagine, right?
yeah, I think he's got the Legends contract. He receives royalties, and he might even be part of their wellness stuff still. The package that he gets, I don't know.
Okay,
but I'm sure that he wouldn't
could be
do
right.
it.
You're probably right. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I'm still stuck with the Beyond the Mat Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, he's way different. I mean,
Yeah.
so different now. I remember somebody calling about him 2 years ago, being like, "What a scum," and going through all these things, and I'm like, "But he's doing better now," you know. And they didn't care though. They were like, "Well, you know, spade's a spade, and that's it." And this person was really mad. It was really weird, but anyway, I remember someone doing that. Polish it up, you know. Maybe I thought Sonny was selling hers on eBay. Speaking of Hall of Fame rings, but they never reported who that went to. So I still think that was a giant stunt. I mean, or she lost it in some dude's anus, you know, and then had to take it down.
I was going to say, she had that ring on when she was finger banging herself in that video.
Yeah. Imagine going to the hospital and being like, "I lost something in me," and they pull it out, it's a WWE ring. There's a story for the hospital. Dave, you know, somebody wants you to be the co-host of Raw with me. And I said, you know, he would be, but I think he goes to bed.
Yeah, the show puts me to sleep.
Yeah, Dave can't do it. Otherwise,
Cronin show or Raw?
No, Raw.
No,
By
Raw.
the time Joe's show hits, it's just like I can't hold it together anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to either. I mean, I can't because it's my show, but yeah, if I was you, I'd be like, I'm dead. Can't do this. You know, if it was somebody else's show, forget it. I don't even know how you guys do it.
Go back to a 2-hour format on Raw. They really do.
They desperately do because this is so bad. Unfortunately,
You want to know what's fantastic about doing my Monday Night Retro show? Is Nitro's only an hour.
Oh, that's right. Back then they hadn't added the other hour.
Yep.
That's amazing to think about.
Oh, it's fantastic.
2 hours is perfect.
It's easy.
3 hours works if you're like nailing it. You know what I mean? If you're doing really well, 3 hours works. And especially if like you do the first hours like your warming up period, you know, you set it up and then you warm up. Or you do something else where it's like, you know, Raw for 2 hours. You know, they did the War Zone and everything. Why don't they do like the first hour isn't even Raw yet? Like it's like something else. It's like WWE, like whatever, like Ultra or Pump Up, or make some stupid thing up, and just you know, start that way, you know, or like, you know, like the War Zone or something like that. But instead of the War Zone, it can be I don't know. I don't know the name it would be, but it would be something. It would be, you know, it's Raw, you know, but it just hasn't gone into Raw yet. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid as hell, actually, now that I think of it. I just get rid of the third hour. That's the fucking answer.
I agree.
It's the
you know,
easiest
this has
answer.
been a huge speculation. I think it's been discussed many times on the Cronin Show, and it's because WWE, you know, they've gone public, And they have so many ads that they have to put, they got so many things that's being commercialized. They need the 3 hours to get all their sponsors in and all this stuff. At this point, for them to even start discussing going back to 2 hours, I just feel like this is something they wouldn't even humor at this point.
No.
Too much money to lose, in their opinion.
And then
They dug their own hole there.
Imagine the commercials you would see then, though. Imagine the commercials then. They'd have to cram into 2 hours. Yeah, you're screwed. It's very similar to the NFL in the way that we're like almost getting football every night, and it waters down the product a little bit because it's on.
You know what though, Joe? When I was watching like the old the old Nitros, the old Raws, they're an hour long, but the truth is they're only about 40 to 41 minutes. So that gives you 19 minutes of commercials. So that's, we would notice it. But in return, we're just going to get a more solid show, a more meaningful show. We don't need shit bums out there on Monday night. We need our A-listers out there who are going to give us the storylines that are important. We don't need to see Titus O'Neil versus Stardust on Raw. That's a fucking superstars match, if that.
Well, let's go right into Titus O'Neil because you brought him up.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on with Titus O'Neil? This is bizarre.
It's a fucking mess, man. I've been covering that story all week on my channel the best I can, and I'm really anxious to hear what Dave has to say about this because, Dave, I think you brought it up before we went on the air that we needed to talk about this. I think that honestly, from my perspective, I think this is just Vince McMahon playing God. This is Vince McMahon who got fucking embarrassed. He tries to say that, I like there to be an open relationship in the locker room, guys be able to have fun. I don't want it to be a tense environment back there. But when he does shit like this, we hear all kinds of rumors that the WWE locker room is just a toxic environment. And it's because of shit like this. All Titus apparently did was grab Vince's arm and say, hey, let the lady go first, Vince. And you watch Vince viciously push Titus, like, get the fuck off me. You just you word it like, get the fuck off me. And while it is pretty funny to think about Vince getting all ass achy over that, suspending him for 90 days, reducing it to 60 immediately shows me that he overreacted. But to me, this is just Vince playing God. He wants people to do nothing but kiss his fucking feet. And Titus O'Neil overstepped his bounds. That's my view.
I would think that it was a work if it was like he didn't miss Mania. And that like maybe this will get like Titus over, because I know they like Titus, but this is weird. But anyway, I'll let Dave go because I'm just bewildered now by the whole thing.
I agree with Justin that in fact it is Vince McMahon flexing his ego, but JD from New York has also mentioned that again it seemed quite an overreaction, and the fact that he's going to be missing WrestleMania does lead to the speculation that maybe there was more. Overall, I still think that it is Vince, again, flexing his ego. He's trying to act like a god, and if you don't march to his drumbeat, then you're not fired, but you're going to be made an example of. And we've seen that a lot. And I think it's also very revealing due to the comments that Punk had when he left, and a lot of the stuff he's talking about seems to prove to be true.
Seems like a fortune
in regards
teller.
to the fact that it is a toxic environment with constant power battles between those above who have no idea what they're doing and the talent below.
He predicted everything. I mean, it's almost unbelievable. Not only did Punk predict everything, but all the shit that he's talked about, where maybe people were like, I don't know if I really believe all this crap. It is absolutely come true. Like, it is all come true. It's unbelievable. And they keep proving it. Even with the Daniel Bryan stuff with him, like, he got cleared by all those doctors. He admitted it on Raw. I got cleared by these doctors, but a week ago I had a test that was different than any other test that I've ever heard of. I've never heard of the test he was having. The big reveal, though, everyone still says, it could still be a work, Joe, and it could still be this. Here's the biggest revealing thing with Daniel Bryan is when he said, I hid seizures from the WWE. I can't believe that wasn't a bigger story. Explain to me how that wasn't a bigger story. Even on the wrestling, the channels on wrestling websites, they wrote, Daniel Bryan talking about his concussion issues with ESPN. And I was like, that's it? That's the headline? I listened to the video and I was blown away. This guy literally just told you he was having seizures, and he hid them from everyone. And he hid them from WWE. And the only time that Daniel Bryan was scared was when they said to him, basically, here's what happened. They said to him, your brain's fine, Daniel. So he was like, okay, I'm having these seizures, but I'm not going to tell anybody. But because they're all telling me my brain is okay. And then when he has this test that reveals things, but only when you're moving, when you put your brain in the stress under movement, then it reveals like you're having all these weird seizure things in your brain, but only when you do physical activity. And it clicked to him and went, oh my God, that's what's going on. And Daniel Bryan, and it was so scary that Daniel Bryan decided that I will retire. And then we find out he had these seizures, and it's like, man, that's exactly what went on. All that stuff about the evil Vince McMahon and the evil WWE, but it was nothing more than, basically what was going on with Daniel Bryan. Now, here's the question, Dave, and here's the question, Justin, and everybody else, and this goes in line with what CM Punk was saying. If they never found these seizures with Daniel Bryan, and that never happened, was he still going to be held off TV? Was that holding him back? Because he only found out about those apparently a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago. But all that other time, he still had not been able to return. So is this just WWE going, oh, thank God, like something came up? Because they weren't going to let him back anyway? So we'll never really know that.
Wow, man, that's a great question.
I never thought of it until I just began talking about this right now. Did they just get lucky
So the question is, had this seizure thing not come up and he's perfectly cleared by WWE, would they have kept him off TV, or had they still not cleared him?
Well, according to what was going on, he still wasn't cleared. And because months ago he went to see doctors. He saw a doctor 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they got cleared there because we all talked about it. And everything we talked about, he clarified on Raw. He said, every doctor's cleared me. And everything was good until last week when I saw another doctor. And then when he went on ESPN, he further elaborated on how, he was having, basically what happened is he was still having seizures. That's what was going on. And WWE wouldn't let him back. They didn't know about the seizures though. So that means WWE doesn't know about the seizures. All they know is these other doctors are clearing him, but their doctor's not clearing him.
So the question is, had the seizures not come up, would he still be being held back?
Here's another question. Who was the one that diagnosed this seizure issue when he's in movement? Was that the WWE doctor? Or was that somebody else? But I think from what I heard on ESPN, he went to this place because it was a revolutionary new thing that they were doing. And it seemed like he was himself worried. He actually is worried, as Daniel Bryan, telling everyone, I'm fine, I want to get back at it. But in his mind, he was thinking, what is up with these seizures, though? So I'm going to go to every doctor I can to make myself feel confident and better. That's what it was. That's why he went to NFL teams' doctors and all these other doctors, because he wanted to convince himself that he could go back. And it's the same thing, just like I wouldn't go do anything physical myself until I get a CT scan myself. So it's the same thing. He was actually worried in the back of his mind, but wanted to go back. And technically, he had on paper everything he needed for WWE to let him back. But WWE's doctor wouldn't clear him. But the WWE doctor didn't have the information about this new sort of way of seeing these seizures. Well, then what did he have that was different than these other doctors? So there's still a bunch of questions about this that no one really is talking about anymore because he's closed the books and said he's retired. But to me, there's a bunch of loose ends that we don't know about right now, and I want to know. Anyway, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I just threw a bunch of shit at you, but I don't. There's really nowhere else to go. We just don't know those answers, but it's very interesting.
I'll let you go first on that one, Dave.
Okay. Do I think that he was going to be held back? by the WWE anyways. I kind of have that suspicion. And again, we're just speculating here. I think perhaps the WWE, when they saw these results, I don't even know if maybe the WWE asked him to go there specifically or said, oh, we found one. And with that, they were secretly saying, gotcha. Like, now we don't have to bring you back.
Right.
I suspect that, but, I can't prove it. I don't know who this doctor is that did this recent diagnosis. But maybe you're right in regards to him trying to convince himself that he was okay by going to all these different doctors, even though he was hiding these seizures, because that's a very serious thing.
It's something that I didn't know about until I heard the video. You want to hear a clip of it? You want to hear what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well, let me try to pull it up here because it's interesting. It's something I can't believe it didn't get the press it hasn't gotten really. My video exploded when I did a video, and I think, well, it didn't explode, but it did 3,500 views. But it did more views than many other people who covered the damn thing.
Coach. Very few performers have garnered the crossover appeal of WWE.
All right, here's Daniel Bryan.
One last, but you did so in your home state of Washington. How difficult was that to do?
Emotionally, it was a tough day, and my mom and my sister and my
This is him talking about the retirement. Let me skip ahead though to the other stuff.
Impossible for them to say, well, I've been knocked out this time and that time I got my bell rung. But there's also, it's hard to define concussion. When the more literature that comes out about it, the more awareness there is. We're finding out more all the time, so it would be impossible to say.
You said that you recently found out that things weren't as okay with your brain as you thought. How did you find out that your career was going to be over?
So I went to New York City. I had taken an EEG so I had taken multiple EEGs before. And for those who don't know, EEGs are measuring the electrical brain currents and that sort of thing. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just trying to explain this as best as I can. But this is a new sort of test that they're doing in the EEG while they're doing reflex testing. And so that's actually measuring how the electrodes are going through your brain as you're doing reflexes and reflex stuff. And all my other EEGs had come out great, right? My EEGs had come out great. My brain MRIs had come out great. My neuropsychological tests had come out great. And so I was looking for something further to support my claim that I could come back to wrestling. But what this had found was that I had some slowing, and I think what they said is a small subacute or chronic lesion.
Hang on a second, pause it.
Temporal parietal region, which is...
Okay. Yes.
Which doctor did he say? He
didn't mention it. He just said he went to New York. He's been doing some tests in New York. Could be WWE if it's New York.
That's what I was going to say. That's really close to Connecticut, so...
He's almost... there's a couple more seconds here, but yeah, it's very interesting that he doesn't mention the doctor. That's the thing we're missing.
I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed it.
Causes seizures, and one of the things that's been hard about this is that I have had post-concussion seizures that I've hid for a long time, and so there was never any evidence to see why I would have these seizures, but then we finally found some.
The entire
you see that? So he had
starting...
freaking seizures that he was hiding, and only he knew, and maybe Brebella, but only he really knew. And so when he found that test, that scared him. That's what happened.
You're right, actually. This story should be bigger, because if this was happening to, say, a football player, there'd be outrage.
I can't believe it.
So this is being diagnosed as post-concussion seizures. That's the reason he's no longer able to wrestle?
Yes. Yeah, because of these concussions, he has these seizures, apparently. And these seizures, he was hiding from everybody, so nobody knew he had them. But he knew, and he was always probably wondering why these were happening. And then he gets this test that says, you're going to have seizures and something's going to go wrong because of this. Look at this. And he's like, oh, shit, It's kind of like if the guy that pees blood. You start peeing blood one day and you go, I'm not going to the hospital. That must be some, maybe I'm got some stones or something's moving around. It goes away, and then a couple months later you pee blood again and you go, what the hell? Why does that happen every once in a while? I feel all right. I don't want to tell anybody about this. I'm just going to stay home. I mean, me, I'd go run into the hospital the minute I see my own blood come out of my pee. I'm running to the hospital. But I got a friend who didn't do that. And, but yeah, and then eventually you go, something happens, and then you go to the doctor and you have some looked at, and they go, yeah, so you've got this cancerous growth that's continuing to grow along the lining of your fucking pancreas or whatever. Oh, I've been peeing blood for the last 2 years. Yeah, it's spread pretty far, but we can remove the cancer. It's like, okay, I better get this, figured out. And
but didn't he say he had many EEGs before this one?
Many EEGs, he said, but he didn't.
So how out of nowhere did this one?
Because this one was a different. We were working with a reflex EEG where you where you kind of like moving your hands and arms and stuff, and they monitor you doing that. Okay. And they said so. His results from that were like, what the hell is that? When you do physical activity, it looks like this part of your brain, like you could have seizures there.
After hearing all of this, I can honestly say this justifies me being absolutely fine with Daniel Bryan walking away. I want to be I want to say that it's great that he's left because of the reason he had to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would love to have him still in the wrestling world, but the thing I want to answer your question before. Had this not happened, would he still be being held back? I don't know if he would be held back. Obviously, forever. I do believe he would have been held back well after Mania. I think if he were to come back, it would be somewhere around Money in the Bank, possibly even SummerSlam. I just don't think that they would bring him back. They don't want to fuck with the WrestleMania plan. They weren't going to bring him back. Sorry. They weren't going to bring him back because they didn't want to fuck with the plans for Mania.
Yeah.
And whoever's going to debut the night after Raw, because all they would talk about is Daniel Bryan. So that's kind of, if that answers your question, I just don't think, I think, yes, they would have continued to hold him back for at least another 4, maybe 5 months, but I do think he would end up working his way back into the A-lister rotation.
I think that anybody who praised WWE now, it's very interesting that they look like this hero, but he may, he really was the cause of his own, was the controller of his own issue. I know they're not, because, again, if he just had this test done a week and a half ago, like he said, we just found this out. So he was still campaigning to get me back, and then he just disqualified himself. That's what happened. It's literally if like somebody wants to enter a race, and like like picture back in the day, like a black guy wants to enter a race, and they're like, "We don't let black people in here. Come on, let me go in the race." We don't let black people in. Come on, let me go in the race. And then he like twists his ankle the next day and goes, "Oh well, I withdraw because I couldn't have been in the race anyway. I just broke my ankle." And so then they win. I mean, it's sort of like that in a way. I mean, obviously not the racism, but the idea of it.
I'll tell you straight up, Joe. I don't think WWE needs to be praised in any way, shape, or form. I don't think it had a damn thing with them to think that there was still something wrong with them.
Right.
I think that it was purely based on the fact they didn't want him back.
And it's luck that he's not. It's for them. I mean, not that it's luck. I'm sure they want Daniel Bryan to come back. I do believe that at some point. But I think it, in a way,
they should be patting themselves on the back like, "Woohoo! We dodged a landmine, boys."
And Bryan put them over. They look like wicked. They look like a safe place. You know what I mean? They look like, wow, look at the steps. We won't let this guy back. And now look what happened. See what happened? Like we knew what we were doing. Everything. But to me, if you dig deep you don't have to dig deep, you just have to listen to his Monday Night Raw speech and listen to his ESPN interview to find out that really WWE had nothing to do with his safety. I mean, they left. They wouldn't let him wrestle, but it wasn't because they were worried about his safety. I don't think. But then again, their doctor wouldn't let him back. So, did the doctor find out about the seizures somehow? I mean, I don't know. It's bizarre. The whole thing is weird. There's still questions to be asked. But let's move on to another topic. We spent a lot of time on this. I got some things, but does anybody else have something on the table that they really want to bring up?
I have something small to maybe speculate on, and that is a possible return of Karma, a.k.a. Awesome Kong, to WWE. She's been teasing some pictures on Instagram of her with the old WWE logo in the corners. She's either trying to get WWE's attention or she's possibly hinting that there could be a chance that she makes her way back to WWE.
You think she got fired from TNA on purpose to go back to WWE?
I think that she meant to beat the shit out of Matt Hardy's wife on purpose. I honestly, if I had to guess, I would think that Awesome Kong was very disappointed because she probably thought in her heart that TNA thought of her a lot more than the way they treated her by just saying, "Oh, you hurt Matt's wife, you're out of here."
Yeah. And
she's got so much more value because can I say something here real quick on the show that I've been wanting to get out to more people than just my Twitter? I want to be very clear here. Nia Jax sucks. Thank you. That's all I have to say about that.
That was going to be my first thing to bring up to you is I don't think they'll sign Awesome Kong because of re-sign Awesome Kong because of Nia Jax.
And that's why I brought it up, because there's so much more value in somebody like Awesome Kong compared to Nia Jax, who fucking sucks, by the way. She is the exact same thing as Tamina. They are absolutely mirror image of each other. Both of their offenses are as equally as flexible as one or the other. Both of them are shit. Awesome Kong needs to be that gargantuan beast in the women's division that they're trying to portray Nia Jax as. That's what I think. I think Nia Jax fucking sucks. Her leg drop is horrible. She can barely body slam somebody. Did you see when she tried to lift Liv Morgan up like 2 weeks ago? She could barely lift her up for a body slam.
I don't know if I'm as harsh on Nia Jax as you, because I thought she was I thought she did okay against Bayley. But
it's because Bayley was in the ring with her.
Yeah.
I mean, that was completely... Bayley is proving, and WWE knows that they have a ring general in Bayley, because she could get a good match out of a wet fucking fart. It's just like, Nia Jax to me, is just... Other than being a plus-size model, she's fucking nothing in the ring.
I'm not like most girls. Sorry.
That's what she is to the WWE. She's their fucking plus-size model. That's all it is.
Well,
who's worse, her or Eva Marie?
Her. I would rather watch Eva Marie because at least I have something decent to look at.
Strong words.
I would honestly prefer to watch Eva Marie wrestle than Nia Jax.
I have a tough time being this harsh on Nia Jax because I like her. Like, I like her work ethic. I like her facial expressions that she can make. Like, when she speaks, I believe her. In anything she's done so far, I've believed her. Like, in the backstage and talking. Sometimes things look a little bit goofy, especially that first outfit she had. And it's a little bit weird. But I do really believe her. Like, I think to me her facial connection is really good. And her in the ring right now, she's okay. But well,
let me ask you this, Joe. If you had the opportunity, you're in NXT, you're what's his name, A-Train. And you have the opportunity to sign or put into that role Awesome Kong, a.k.a. Karma, or Nia Jax to portray what they're trying to make Nia Jax be. Which one would you put all of your tokens with? Like, okay, I need you to be this. Which one do you choose?
Well, Awesome Kong they put into her once already as Karma, and she didn't do so well.
Well, now that's not exactly true.
She got injured, she got pregnant.
She got pregnant, but she was a totally different beast when she went to TNA compared to the way she was in WWE. So I think she has developed dramatically since her time in TNA. And what I saw on TV when I was covering...
But what about her time? She was in TNA forever. Then she goes to WWE and it fails. Then she goes back to TNA and she's okay again. But then now she's going to go back to WWE. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because the time that she was in WWE was a totally different era of what they had nobody.
They had nobody to wrestle her, is what happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't have the flexibility of the women's division that they have now. Because you put Awesome Kong up against somebody like Becky Lynch or Charlotte or something like that, you would get so much better of a match.
I may, if I was WWE, here's what I would be. I may be thinking something like this. I would do two things. I would either not. I would maybe hire her to put over Nia Jax.
Oh God! Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because that's the only. What else? I mean, I just don't. I understand her, and I have to see her wrestle. I will be honest about this. I don't know how to answer your question because I have not cared to watch Awesome Kong in maybe a year. I don't think I've seen her wrestle in a year and a half. I'm dead serious. I haven't watched a match. I've turned her off because I don't know. I saw enough matches in a row that I didn't like, and I just stopped watching her. And so I might be the wrong person to ask. I just see this. I see an upside with Nia Jax. I don't think she is Awesome Kong, though. If that's what you're getting into that, she is not as good as Awesome Kong. She is not Awesome Kong. She is not this devastating beast that's going to take down the women's division.
Let me ask you another question on top of that to help build what exactly I'm trying to ask. Did you watch NXT not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, the match between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan?
I don't really remember it. Now, Liv Morgan's the one with the backwards hat, right? Like the sports look?
She's like the Jersey girl.
Yeah, the Jersey, yeah.
Okay, if you can remember, it's about 3.5, maybe 4 fucking minutes. Go watch that match again and just pay attention to how the match is being worked and stuff. It is not even worthy of being on an NXT live event. That's how bad that match was. And it was on an NXT taping. It was an abysmal match. Now, they are both at fault. That is not just Nia Jax. It's two women being thrusted into a situation that neither one of them are ready for. But Nia Jax is not as good as people want her to be or are seeing her, because she's had that match with Bayley. Like, oh man, Nia Jax is phenomenal.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
What?
I tried to play the WWE Network so I could go watch what you're talking about, and an ad popped up. So I just had to watch an ad. Ad in the network.
There's a specific spot in that match, Joe, where Kong tries to lift. I think she tries to lift Liv Morgan up for a sidewalk slam.
Nia Jax. You mean Nia Jax? You said Kong.
I'm sorry. Yes, Nia Jax. It was either for a sidewalk slam or a body slam. I don't know. Whatever it is, she could barely fucking lift her. And Liv Morgan is the size of a beanpole.
Okay, it was 3 NXTs ago, I think, because 2 NXTs ago on February 3rd, she wasn't on the card here.
Okay, yeah, I might be
January
behind. I'm actually
27th.
1 week behind right now.
Oh my God, here's the ad again. Oh my God.
To me, it just shows that WWE is rushing this Nia Jax thing, and here's the hard truth for a lot of NXT fans. I'm an NXT fan too, but people are so scared to fucking criticize NXT because it's their beloved thing they have in their back pocket.
No, I mean,
I can always count on.
You're right about that, but you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to start. Everything can be criticized. I mean, we're here to criticize. If everything we just said, and this pisses me off about people who are like, if you don't like it, stop watching. Why fuck all you do is shit on it? It's like, no, we talk about the good and the bad. Apparently, all you hear is the bad, but the bad is the more interesting thing to talk about. So yeah, no, we should be breaking down NXT a little bit more.
Because the thing is, and I'm just being honest, the past 3 weeks of NXT, besides I thought that Carmella and Bayley did put on a pretty good match. I thought that was pretty damn good. Even the Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and Corbin match, I didn't think it was honestly that good of a match.
I'll tell you one thing.
I thought it was rushed. I didn't think it had enough time to build any story. And the finish, that was atrocious to me.
Yeah, I think that Nia Jax is a little bit different. She's not quite the super heavyweight that Kong is, but at the same time, you know what I don't like is when she comes in the ring and pauses at the beginning and she does her pose. Because that looks a little goofy. But everything else she does, I just believe her for the most part. But I'm watching now, and I see Eva Marie out there. The reason why Eva Marie is more valuable, and I hate to say that, because I really hate to say it, but people hate Eva Marie so much that she's gold. Because
you can't buy that kind of heat.
You just can't buy that heat. I don't care. I mean, you can say that it's bad heat, but I don't think so. People hate her, and it's turning into a love to hate her, and she's getting better at wrestling, so she's starting to earn that what she didn't have. We crapped on her a long time, and we'll continue to until she picks it up even more. Dave, what do you think about all this?
I don't like Nia Jax. She bores me.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
I definitely think that Kong is superior in her in their respective wrestling ability. I've seen her stuff in Japan, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of watching Nia Jax. I really do think that WWE could benefit from someone who's a behemoth like Kong to really shake things up. And, who knows where it could lead. But
I really think they were hoping for her to be that.
It's not always about tits and ass, man. And I think I think there's a lot of people. I think Joe's like that. I think Dave's like that. We don't have to have that body like Eva Marie has or Sasha Banks has. If we have a strong character like Kong in there, it doesn't matter what she looks like. We're looking at a monstrosity of a character. You know what I mean? Like, God, who is going to take down that beast?
Justin, were you referring to a sidewalk slam that she performed when she jumped on her?
That's what I'm saying. It was either a sidewalk slam or a body slam, something. It could have even been a power bomb. I just remember she could barely lift her scrawny ass.
I don't think it was her lifting her, though. First, I want to ask you something about Kong in a second, but I'm watching it right now. It's about to happen again. I just want to see something.
Does she not, catch her or something?
Okay.
And she tries to redo it or something?
Here's what happened. They got crossed up, and I don't know whose fault it was. But I blame it on... what is his name? The girl's name is Liv. Is that what her name is?
Liv Morgan.
I blame it on her because here's why. Because she's about to go off the rope. She's going to go off the rope. She looks at Nia Jax. As she's going off the rope, she's looking at her. Nia Jax starts to bend down with both of her hands out, like, I'm going to slam you. And rather than Liv running into her and being power slammed or being slammed, she jumps up in the air. Like, she sees... Nia Jax actually goes too early to be like, I'm going to slam you. I'm going to catch and slam you. But Liv doesn't adjust. Instead, she jumps up in the air to cross-body her. And then immediately, Nia Jax has to change her arm angle because Liv lands on her chest. And she has to move her arms up and be like, oh, and then she sidewalk slams her.
But if she is being portrayed as this beastly character, that should have just been, she should have been able to just treat her like a bath toy.
She should have, yes, I agree. If she should have caught her, when she adjusted, she caught her, and that's fine. She should have thrown her up on top of her shoulder and done the running power slam. That's what I would have done.
The easiest way to come out of that and not look fucking stupid and weak is when she landed on her awkwardly, she should have literally just fucking threw her back straight down to the ground, then picked her up and sidewalk slammed her. Just get the fuck off me. You know what? Come here, you little bitch. And just pick her up and then do it.
I didn't know. I'll tell you, I didn't notice it in the match just because. In fact, if anything, it adds something to me like, oh, she went for a crossbody. She got her, but it didn't do anything because she's huge. But no, they got crossed up. I don't know who missed the move or missed the call or whatever. But let me say this. What about...
Liv Morgan is equally at fault. You are right. I will agree with you. She is equally at fault as Nia Jax.
I blame her more, though, because... if I was running off the ropes and I decided and I thought I was going to cross body her, but I saw her going down, I would immediately know, oh, she wants to scoop me up as I run into her, and I would go into that. But she didn't. It's weird. She just leaps onto her, and it's almost like what. There was no need for the cross up, even if Liv was like, this is going to be a scoop slam, or this is going to be a cross body by me. I'm going to cross body her, or even if they were ad libbing. So both ways, it's wrong. She should have said, "Oh, she doesn't think I'm cross-bodying her. Okay, I'll go into the slam." Or, "Oh, she's signaling that she wants to slam me. I'll go into the slam." But she had plenty of time to decide this. Instead, she waits. Nia Jax looks awkward, and then she jumps up and cross-bodies her, and it's bizarre. But I actually give credit to Nia Jax because she adjusts quickly and tries to figure out, well, let's do something else with her. Okay, sidewalk slam. So I go the other way with that and say that that's Liv's fault. Find me another time where Nia got crossed up and I'll look at that. But that one I throw off the table.
All you have to do is watch her deliver her leg drop.
I've seen her leg drop, and I mean, let's compare it to Kong's, I guess. Well, I'll have to watch Kong's. But here's what I would like. Here's how you solve all the problems. Kong is somebody you could bring into NXT. And you could just have her work with Nia Jax to build up Nia Jax and to build up Kong, and kind of like how Samoa Joe's come in. You could have her come in the same way Samoa Joe has to build up the women in NXT. Or you could literally put Kong right on the main roster. Just put her right on the main roster. As soon as Sasha or somebody's champion, bam, here comes awesome Kong, or Karma. That would be great. And then you don't even have her in NXT because you keep her away from Nia Jax. You let Nia Jax develop still. And maybe in a year, if Kong is still on the roster, Nia Jax versus Kong, on the main roster at some point. And so that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind where Nia Jax is in NXT. You know, if Nia Jax can get herself to the best she can be, and that's a 10. So say she can be the best she can be. I'm not saying she's a 10 out of all wrestlers. She's got a 10 score, but I'm saying if the best she can be, the best anyone can be is 10. You know what I mean? If you're doing everything you can be the best. I don't think she's quite there yet, obviously.
Nia?
Nah, she's not there yet.
She's not even close.
Right, but she can be over the next year. She can do something and move up. She was much worse a while ago. You know? She's gotten a little better. I think this move is totally this other chick. Anyway,
that whole match was horrid between Nia and Liv Morgan. That whole match was awful. Did you watch the whole thing just now?
I did. It was pointless, useless.
Yeah, I mean,
but they were clearly only given a few minutes. I mean, they were literally given, what is this? 17 to they might have been given 4 minutes, you know? 17 minutes, the match. Yeah, they were given 3 minutes, including the entrances. And even in 3 minutes, they got crossed up, which is crazy.
I don't know. I'm just not. I've heard a lot of people talk very highly about Nia Jax and stuff, and I'm just not seeing it. And we can move on if you want. I did want to clarify something that I was talking about earlier with NXT. I know it's everybody's, love right now, and it is great. I'm not saying NXT's bad at all. I think sometimes even when an NXT taping is bad, people are like, "Oh my God, you gotta watch NXT." And I know that you're gonna get bad tapings every once in a while, but believe it or not, more times than not, most NXT tapings aren't that great.
I would say that sometimes people are so high on it, but you're right, because then someone might watch a regular NXT show that's an hour and say, "What's all the hype about? It was okay, but I didn't get it." So you got to understand that, absolutely. In fact, I want to bring back my NXT review, and I'm going to do that starting this week, and I can't wait to do it because I'm going to give it ratings, and it's not going to be comparable ratings to Raw. It's going to be comparable ratings to its own program, NXT. And and Joe, the thing is about that too, to clarify to the people that may think that I'm just being kind of hard on NXT, the thing is, if Raw was better and more enjoyable for people to watch, you would notice that NXT tapings aren't as good as you may think they are. But when Raw is as bad as it is, an NXT taping does look supremely superior over Raw, because even when it's bad, they have matches that have sort of points and they happen quickly, and before you know it, within an hour, it's over. So they got in and got out, and if it wasn't that good, it was over so quick that you're not pissed off that you just lost 3 hours of your night. You know what I mean?
NXT, it's 45 to 59 minutes.
Or you get halfway through it and you could be like, Jesus, this ain't doing as well. All right, I gotta get some food. And then you come back at some point and watch it. It's not live. So, it's weird. Whereas SmackDown, I can't watch it because it's not live. I can't stand it. Anyway, Dave, you got any comments on this?
No, I think we've talked enough about Nia Jax and what she does for NXT.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. I don't know. She's there. She'll be there. What do you think about, I don't know where else to go. Maybe the card on Fastlane, but let's save that for next week, I think.
If we're running out of stuff, I got a few questions that have been sent in through Twitter if you want to do a little quick Q&A. Just got a couple of questions.
I also want to shout out to everyone that I am doing a Q&A video tonight about all your questions that you asked me on my comment video that I did a few days ago. So that's coming up as well. If you haven't seen that, it'll be up. But yes, what do you have there?
Okay, so this question comes from TMA. Everybody knows TMA at Hey It's TMA. He asks us all, do you think that NXT Dallas will be bigger than NXT Brooklyn?
That's a tough one. It is WrestleMania weekend.
I don't think it's honestly that big of a...
I don't think you can be as big.
No, I think, as a matter of fact, I'm on the exact opposite. I think this is going to hands down be way bigger than NXT
Wait a minute,
Brooklyn.
where are they doing it? Are they doing it at the Dallas? Are they doing it at the WrestleMania Stadium?
I'm sure, I would imagine, right?
I'll
look it up real quick just to make sure, but I mean, that would just seem silly. Surely they've rented it for the entire weekend, right?
I didn't think about that. Obviously, they did that at SummerSlam. You're right, they must be doing it. That would be incredible. It could
What is
be.
the stadium called that they're going to be at? Do you know?
Oh, it's the Dallas. I mean, I know it's the Dallas.
Is it just the Dallas Stadium?
You know, I'm sure it's got some corporate name, but I know it's the Dallas Stadium, but I don't know what the real name of it is. But I'll say that would it depends on the matches, because that event is going to be the biggest event in NXT history, if that's true.
AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
It's actually what I thought it was going to be called, was AT&T Stadium, but it looks like it is indeed going to be at the AT&T Stadium. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be in the same venue as WrestleMania 32. So
Can you imagine that sold out?
That would be fucking crazy.
So like 60,000 people to see. You know,
No. I stand correct. It's going to be at, listen to this, the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center.
That makes more sense. Okay.
So it is not going to be at the AT&T Stadium.
Because the trash and the cleanup of that venue and the security of that venue for WrestleMania would make that almost, I would think, hard or impossible.
So this is going to be on April 1st at 9 o'clock. So this is going to be that. I believe that is on the Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, it's the day before on Saturday.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is hands down going to be bigger than NXT Brooklyn, just due to the WrestleMania crowd being there. People are going to be amped up. You're going to have that smart crowd there. I think NXT Dallas is probably going to blow Brooklyn away.
It's also going to come down to what the matches are. How we remember it is going to come down to that. I mean, because we'll never forget the Sasha Bailey match at Brooklyn, but I don't know what match is going to steal this one or how it's going to be. But
Asuka versus Bailey, man.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing you can say about it too is NXT takeovers have all been good. They've all been a 7, 8, 9, or 10. There has been no like crapper. You know, I mean, they've all been good and they've topped each other, and then they've maybe gone from a 9 to an 8, back up to a 10, back to an 8. You know, so they've all just been phenomenal. If you don't like the NXT weekly show, you have to be obsessed with the one that happens on the takeovers.
That's the thing, man. The tapings, they may not be all good, but every one of the takeover events, that is their bread and butter, man. Every one of them are amazing.
Right. Roman Reigns going to be WWE champion at WrestleMania.
I think he's going to be. I just wanted to respond that I do think NXT Dallas is going to be larger than NXT Brooklyn.
Yeah, I hope it is, because everyone gets bigger. It gets funner. This one's gonna hit a nerve with Dave. I know I said Roman Reigns. Forget that though. I don't care to talk about that now. Let's.
We got some more questions here.
Yeah, there's a few questions already streaming in through the Twitter.
Okay, let's go to those then. I'll get to my thing about Rey Mysterio afterwards.
You already had a few lined up, Justin, I believe.
Yeah, I just got a couple more. So TMA, that answers your question, which will be bigger. The next question comes from @Lewis_C_AVFC. Jesus Christ. Lewis Charlwood asks, who will feud for the titles? Any title in parentheses after Mania. So let's just talk about the heavyweight title instead of talking about all the titles. So after Mania, what is the first feud for the heavyweight title? So I guess we're assuming Roman Reigns is the champion.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on what happens, I guess, at Mania. I mean, are the Authority still mad and all that stuff, or is it Dean Ambrose, who I never got my time and you're always whatever? And he gives, or I'm going to give you my brother the first shot, whatever, something like that. Is it like that?
How close is Cena to being recovered?
You're right. It's a good point. They want to put him with Cena. If he's at WrestleMania,
I can almost see it.
If he's at WrestleMania, then I could see it being Cena.
You think so? I don't see that. I don't think Cena's. No, I don't see that at all.
You know what?
I think we're looking more something like Dean Ambrose.
You know what I'd love to see at WrestleMania? Roman Reigns versus Triple H. And at the end, Roman Reigns is about to, win or something like that. And then fucking out of the audience, Cena comes out and just FUs, Roman Reigns. And then Triple H wins the title, keeps the title. And Cena goes
the
heel.
ultimate heel turn.
That'd be great.
Actually, I don't know if he would be a heel if he done that.
Yeah, people might cheer Cena then. That's the problem. Well, what would happen is what they always feared anyway, is what he just flip-flop with the 50-50 audience. You know what I mean? I am, honestly... If Cena went heel, whatever he does, if he did something terrible to Roman Reigns, the people like us who don't like either one really, or some people, I know, not everybody. Justin doesn't really feel that way, I don't think, but we would.
About what?
I'd be like, you'd fall into Cena's corner more. You'd be like, oh, he finally went heel. This is awesome. And I know Cena. I'm sick of Reigns. And you would almost fall into Cena's, court here. But it just never will happen because kayfabe is so dead. It just won't happen. The total divas, John Cena and Nikki, all that shit. Like, we'll never get what we should get. Where Roman's heel or Cena's heel. Somebody needs to go bad. And it's not going to happen. Because they have to stick to these
You think it'd
glory
be Roman
boys.
before John Cena?
Yeah, I would think it would be Roman. But if Roman took over, then Cena could do it. Because, okay, he's passed the torch. But the both of them, Cena's merch and all that stuff is dropping down a little bit. Roman Reigns is where it is. So really, we've got Roman Reigns and Cena both selling enough to where Cena used to sell by himself. Maybe even just a year to 2 years back. I feel like the two of them equal a healthy John Cena. Or not healthy like physically, but as far as sales and merchandising and things like that go. You know what I'm saying? Like we have 2 sevens where John as a corporate entity was a 10. John has fallen down to a 7. Roman Reigns was at a 5 and he's elevated to a 7, but he can't get any higher because everyone won't get behind Reigns. Daniel Bryan can do it. Reigns can't. And Daniel Bryan's success was starting to overshadow Cena's, and as Cena's stock has fallen, and Roman Reigns' stock just won't seem to rise higher, Daniel Bryan's stock was going to, but then he got taken out of the stock market. So it's unbelievable what's happened and what won't happen, and it's very bizarre. It's very interesting. If this Daniel Bryan thing didn't happen, we could be off to the races with at least Roman Reigns with a 7, Daniel Bryan with a 9, John Cena at his 7 or 8, 9, and we would have these big player entities, but we don't now. And that's why they went out and got AJ Styles to fill the gap, because they want to get everybody involved. I mean, that's the one thing I'll give them. Let's get the kids, let's get these, let's get the foreign people. We got to get somebody for everybody. Oh, who don't we have right now? Well, we got Kevin Owens. He's kind of helping the hardcore indie fans. But now let's get AJ Styles. He'll be like the new Daniel Bryan. But people won't take over shows because AJ Styles isn't in the WWE Championship. So that's what they accomplished with that. Look at the T-shirt sales, too, of both of those guys. AJ Styles and was Austin Aries shirt that sold out?
Yeah, I think, AJ Styles shirt sold out in minutes that night it was available on the shop. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Aries shirt sold out very quickly too.
All right,
so
let's rattle through the rest of the questions because I'm getting to where I got to get out of here.
Okay, I'll do that quickly here. Be honest with you, I'm not seeing any questions that are really gonna be worth mentioning.
I'll tell you what, I'll do them. If we missed something, send it to me. I'll do it in my Q&A. I'm going to do a big Q&A video later tonight.
Actually, Justin Bailey's liver wants to know if we're doing a Monetize This next Friday.
Yes, we'll be back on Friday.
There you go. We hear that, liver?
You hear that?
Jesus.
Get better, liver. And we're going to take a little more care of Justin Bailey next week because you were almost useless for 70% of the show due to your incapacitation.
It won't happen again.
Well, Justin Bailey's kidneys followed me on Twitter.
That's awesome.
Wait a minute. What, kidneys? Now
there's kidneys.
My kidneys got a Twitter account?
Yep.
For fuck's sake.
What do you think about Rey Mysterio, Dave? Does he come to the WWE or Lucha Underground?
I think that's the dumbest thing. The same speculation was going around about Johnny Mundo. He never went. I heard the same thing about Rey Mysterio. I just don't see it happening. And there's also talk about Brian Cage supposedly going to Lucha Underground. I don't see it happening. At least not now. Maybe Cage in the future, but I think Rey Mysterio is probably done with the WWE. I think they treated him so poorly before. But then again, you've got Alberto Del Rio.
He's back, yeah.
He came back.
Similar
Chavo
issues.
sort of revealed why that was.
I got cookie, and then I got more cookie.
Hey there, Finn. Finn's coming in the room.
They've basically done exactly what I said. They were going to destroy his run when he got in there. It was just a dead ship,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weirdness with all those guys. I feel like they need masks to be sold, though. So
that's all I got, Joe. That's all that I've had sent into me. So
hey,
looks like we're good. If I missed anything, I will make sure and forward it to Joe for his Q&A this evening.
To be honest, there's another 2 hours that could be done, but I got to get out of here. We did about an hour. I really appreciate that. I want to make sure to say, click that like button, subscribe right here to the Joe Cronin Show if you're interested. If you want to hear versions of us on iTunes, the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, make sure to go to iTunes or SoundCloud, especially iTunes, and leave a review. Subscribe to the podcast. Same info can be found on YouTube, but you can also find us on the podcast on iTunes. Also, if you want to hear Monetize This on iTunes, it's there. So look up Monetize This on iTunes and review and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And thank you to Devious Dave Rose. I'm Joe Cronin, at Joe Cronin Show on Twitter. And if you want to hear Justin Bailey's deal, you got to get over to his YouTube page. It's blowing up everywhere. It's the Best There Is podcast on YouTube. And his Monday Night Retro show is phenomenal, among other things. Lots of news and things that maybe I don't get to. So get over there to get his take on things. Get to me. That way you can tattletale on each other when we lie to each other about things we didn't say.
And also, I want to say that I'm getting ready to go through some pretty big format changes on my channel, as I just ordered a pretty big sum worth of equipment being brought in. So there's going to be a brand new video, audio, podcast. I mean, it's going to be through a lot more outlets. It's going to be a lot easier to listen to, not just through YouTube. So make sure and keep an eye out for that.
And follow everybody on Twitter. I'm at Joe Cronin Show. Rose, what are you at?
At Devious Dave Rose.
I always forget that. It's so easy. It's at Devious Dave Rose. And Justin Bailey is at Justin Bailey IND.
Correct.
For Indiana. Justin Bailey IND. And that's it. That's all I got to say. What else do I get? JoeCroninShow.net. If you guys want to get bonus videos and exclusive videos and featured videos, you can go to JoeCroninShow.net, JoeCroninShow.com, because there's where I can put up content that is copywritten and things like that, maybe, where I can't get in trouble and you can listen to it and all that crap. So JoeCroninShow.com, JoeCroninShow.net loads quicker. And that is pretty much all I got to say. Thank you guys for listening. It's State of the WWE, episode 51. Look for more videos throughout the week. Thank you, and leave us a comment in the description box or in the comment section below, and check out all the links in the description box. We'll see you next time.
Take care.